Hello everyone, Retro Poker Fan here, and today I thought I'd just show you off all the stuff that I received last week on my birthday, which was the 2nd of June. So I threw just a little Q&A sound, but I released it a day early before my birthday. And since I didn't show anything on the day of my birthday, I thought I might as well just get everything out of the way now. So first things first, I got is some Bush on here headphones. As you can see, they're not in here, they're actually in the bag over there, and I can't be asked to actually get them out and show you, but that's what they look like. So yeah, I've been using them recently and they're really good. They've done the job, I can hear the music clearly and all that, so that's pretty nice. And then we move on to DVDs, which I do not have a hell of a lot, just only three or four in general, so I'll just show you the first thing. So the first one we have is the Transformers Takara Collection, the Takara Takara Collection Volume 1 Headmasters, which has both Japanese and English audio, optional subtitles, collection booklet, audio commentary, and DVD ROM content. Released by Metrodome, who are a company that I think are no longer with us, they no longer operate. And I think because of that, these Takara collections are really hard to find nowadays, but managed to get this from like Music Magpie or something for just, I think, 8 or 9 quid or something, which was a very cheap price. And there's the booklet. I'm just gonna have a quick flick through. So advertising the season box sets. We have an episode guide, just some translation of the Transformers names, information about both versions, introduction by Chris McFeely, and an advert for the reconstructed version of the Transformers movie. And then afterwards you have all 4 discs in one neat little case. And no, I'm not going to put it back in, because otherwise that would take forever. Then we have the Platinum edition of Bruce Lee's Game of Death, the last ever film Bruce Lee did, obviously, because he unfortunately died doing production of the film, and they had to basically just continue the film onwards without him. The only downside is that unfortunately the actual case itself smells of aftershave, and so basically I had to just keep it out of the bag that my presents was in it, because obviously it just smelled pretty bad. Our next one is Kingsglaive Final Fantasy XV, a film that I think either takes place before or after the events. I think it's mostly before the events of the current Final Fantasy game, XV. So it stars Aaron Paul, Lena Headey, and Sean Bean. So plain white disc, typical thing. Sony's been doing it in an advert for the game itself. Nothing else on the back. And then the final thing for the DVD stuff is the second collection of Pokémon the series XYZ. Obviously, my favourite Pokémon series of all time, and basically the only reason I picked the second collection up is because it's probably has the most important stuff out of the 2 volumes. So as you can tell, it is released in Australia. There is no Region 2 release of it, and if you are planning to buy it, please know it's a Region 4 DVD, so it may not work on your DVD player. But it is not in its original case. It did come in another case, but normally where you can see there, it had a crack in it, and I was pretty worried that it would the case would end up breaking, so I just switched out the case with this Spinal Tap. This is the original case that Spinal Tap 1 came in, and just changed it out for this, obviously. So it got 3 discs in total, and it contains the last 20-something episodes of the XYZ series, and pretty much the XY series as a whole in general. So there's over 9 hours of stuff, 26 episodes total. So with that, we now move on to what is pretty much the rest of the video, the PlayStation games. So start off with Worms Armageddon. Obviously, my all-time favourite Worms game ever made. It is probably one of the best things the Worms franchise has ever done. If you are a big Worms aficionado, you should definitely check out this game. And as you can tell, the case is not in very good condition, unfortunately. Manual is alright, but there's the disc itself, and it is a little bit scratched up. Yeah, so at first I didn't think I had this version at first, which is why exactly I ended up with another copy. But as you can easily tell right off the bat, the case is in much better condition. There is absolutely no different whatsoever from the covers. They are both look exactly the same. Manual's also the same as well, and disc art is also the same too. The case is in much better condition, and I'm not going to show you the disc because that's the exact same, but it is in way better condition. There's no scratches or anything, so got two copies now, so in case one ends up not working anymore, I always have this to keep me company. And then I have second Worms game for the PlayStation, well actually the third if you count the first Worms game, Worms World Party, which is basically more of the same as the Worms Armageddon, except one or two new features are added in, including the worm pot. And unfortunately I can't seem to get the case open, so I'm not going to show you the disc. And then afterwards we have Final Fantasy VII, or whatever the number is. Obviously this is meant to be one of the greatest games ever made, and since I'm an RPG aficionado, got it off eBay for a pretty cheap price. So as you can tell, even though it comes in the normal case, the discs are from the Platinum version, and it's got a manual with it as well. Seems to have been a hole there. And it also comes with a demo disc for the next Final Fantasy game that was released around the time the Platinum version came out, I believe. And it's on 3 discs in total. So, next up we move on to PlayStation 2 games, starting with Crash Nitro Kart. The first Crash Kart game for the PlayStation 2. The next one was Crash Tag Team Racing. And the first major Crash Bandicoot game, no, not the first major Crash Bandicoot game to be done by Vicarious Visions. I believe those were the Game Boy Advance games. And again, same thing with the Final Fantasy one. It's in its normal case, but the disc itself is the Platinum version. And then afterwards, all the other 4 PlayStation games are all RPG titles, starting with Orphan Scion of Sorcery, which was released in 2000 by Activision, and this is actually, I believe, is one of the PlayStation 2 launch titles. I could be wrong on that, but I could also be right as well. I think this is based off of some novel series or something from Japan, so probably have to check it out. I'm pretty interested to see how this RPG will turn out well. And then we have another game released in 2000, I believe another launch title, Eternal Ring, done by From Software, who would later go on to create the ever popular Dark Souls series. And as you can tell, this is really early because this one comes in a black PlayStation case, yet this one is in a regular blue case. But obviously the disc itself is nothing too different. Next up we have is Wild Arms 3, the third Wild Arms game, and the first one to be released on the PS2, and also the first not to be published by Sony in other countries, but instead by Ubisoft. Sony are still credited though, and I believe that this game is starting to get extremely hard to find. Once again, I ended up getting it cheap off eBay for an incredibly cheap price, so I was really, really happy with it. And the final present that I got was Shin Megami Tensei Lucifer's Call, or as it's called in America, Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Of course, featuring everybody's meme, which I'm not going to say because I say so, so there. So yeah, very, very interested in this game in general. and just can't wait to see what this one has to offer in terms of RPG stuff. And as you can see, there's a little crack on the case, so that's the reason why it won't shut properly. So anywho, there you go, that's all of my birthday stuff that I got as a whole in general. Really fantastic stuff in general. Can't wait to see what the RPGs are like. So anywho, thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you in the next video. Take care.